Hamish and Andy.
Laughter stops.
Yes.
Because, unfortunately, we've got to get a hell of a lot meaner if we're going to take down Jim Courier this year.
Yeah.
Now,
last year, we faced off. We went to Melbourne Park with the Australian Openers, and we stared him down. We thought we had a brilliant tactic to beat him at 2-on-1 American doubles tennis because the courts there are blue. We painted ourselves completely blue. Blue shoes, even rubber gloves, blue goggles, so he didn't see the whites of our eyes.
Blue swimming caps, and we were to be completely camouflaged. What we thought was he just looked back there and the ball suddenly would come back at him.
And he'd just freak out.
We
were hoping after the first point he might even just scream and run off.
As if Ghosts. As if he was playing Ghosts.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
And then later on, while he was doing pottery, our hands would come from behind him and help him do the pottery on the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Jim loves pottery.
For those that haven't seen Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Haim, that was one of our tactics.
That didn't work.
You brought out a fake pair of boobs that we hoped to distract him at one point during the game. I think we even used little mini mirrors to deflect the sun into his eyes.
Sure.
None of these things were brilliant, but this is how it went down.
Quiet, please. Well, you said g'day to us as soon as we arrived, which is surprising because we didn't think you'd be able to see us, Jim.
I only heard the voice.
Okay,
I heard two voices. I thought there were just more voices in my head speaking to me.
Do you listen to the voices in your head? Because if so, Jim, play with your left hand.
That's a voice that I get sometimes at a different hour of the day.
Boobs, get me the mirrors. I'm putting the boobs on. I've got my back to Jim. When I turn around, he'll be dazzled by the breast. He should serve an easy serve.
Good, Haim. Actually, go to the net.
No one told me we were playing mixed doubles today.
It's cool. Just stay in the game.
He can't see you, mate. He's just seeing some floating boobs.
I'm a little distracted with the jiggling right now.
What do you got, Jimbo?
Come on, Jimmy. If you want it, then you should have put a ring on it, Jim.
I've got two of the best here. Let's see one of the best there.
I've always been a leg man. I won't be distracted.
That is a fault.
That's a fault. The boobs working.
Jim, I don't think I've hit a ball in.
He's humiliated.
He's spinning it, he's bouncing it, he's hitting it in.
So far, that bit where I left the ball and it went out was the best thing we've done on the court.
Oh, man.
Oh, the drop serve.
Take that. Suck it. Suck on that.
And with those words, suck on that, James Fernando Courier had won again at Melbourne Park.
He flew out to play us again. While he's here, he's been commentating for Channel 7.
That's a side project.
That's been a side project.
That's very much just so the government doesn't look into his presence in the country, because once they find out he's here for the mother of all fights, they might deport him.
Yeah. We played his game, Tennis Sam, game that we didn't grow up on.
No.
Straight after this, let's get him on the phone and see whether we can lay down a new challenge.
Yeah.
A bit more of a fairer fight.
A game that we did grow up on.
Seven Network, you're speaking with Amy.
Hello, Amy. It's Hamish and Andy here. We'd like to speak to Mr. Jim Courier, please.
Sure, one moment, please.
Excellent. Thank you.
That's okay. Cheating on their
It's
husband.
that easy. Yeah. He needs to get a better front line of defence.
Hey, it's Jim.
Jim Courier, Hamish and Andy here, your Australian nemesises. How are you?
And so it begins.
We're Nemesi, almost.
The Nemesis. Are you guys still blue with energy and jealousy, or whatever that represents? I'm not sure.
I think you can safely say that we were ahead of our time now that Avatar has become such a big film.
I didn't realize you guys were Navi.
we were Navi. You beat the Navi. Once again, bloody humans stepping all over the Navi from Avatar.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, I feel like I see you now.
Yeah. Jim, you should not be here. Now, Jim, obviously you're back in the country under the loose guise of commentating the tennis when really you're here clearly to take us on again. A challenge we accept. However, we were wondering, rather than the traditional tennis, could we take you on?
It's not traditional.
Well, could we take you on at a sport that predates tennis, Jim?
I'm willing to take you guys on just about anything as long as there's clothing involved.
Okay. Scratch that off the list. Okay, well, let's move to option 4 then.
Well, the thing is, Jim, we're playing, obviously, a game that you're very familiar with in tennis, where the game Hamish and I grew up with is a very different game that goes by the name of bums.
Yeah.
Bums. Bums.
Now, for an American, that might be asses.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense to me now.
Well, the thing is, have you ever played the game of bums, Jim?
I do not know what you're talking about.
Okay. How do people play bums?
Well, Jim, if you're willing to accept it, the game that Hamish and I have grown up on, it's played on a bums court. Other people know it as a tennis court.
Right. We pinched it from them and just made it our own.
Yeah. Where Team 1 takes position crouched on the service line.
Yep.
Where the tee meets on the service line in a crouch position, some kind of yoga position, I suppose, with their derriere up in the air.
Presenting.
Sounds like downward-facing dog.
It's a lot like that.
Team 2 then is at the baseline where you would normally serve, and they have 4 hits at the derrieres of Team 1.
Yep.
And then
over the net, obviously.
Over the net, yes. And then it swaps. This is repeated for 2 ends. You switch ends, so 8 shots in total.
And now the team with the most most impacts on the opposition team's bum will be declared the winner of bums.
Well, I love the simplicity of this game. It's easily scored. Sounds like it involves bruising, which, given our history and my history of serving hard and strategically located places on your bodies, I think this will work.
Courier, after 2 years of you reigning supreme, I think it's time for Andy and I to take the title back. However, I have here the Sacred Bums Code of Conduct.
Let's have it.
I'll need you to agree to these. These were obviously written in the 1800s, so the wording's a little bit flowery. But
we should, up top, we've got an agreement that you're happy to serve at our derrieres and let us serve at yours from the opposite end.
I think unless there's any sort of a clause that you're not reading, I will agree to that.
Okay. Well, here's the code of conduct, Jim. The target shall not flinch his bum, nor may there be any wavering of thine target bum. To clarify, thine target bum must be completely stationary. Do you agree?
I agree.
The target may only wear a level of clothing thou would wear in thine day-to-day business. There shall be no padding of thine pants, wearing of adult nappies, nor inserting of cosmopolitan magazines in thine pants to protect thy derriere.
They were ahead of their time and they're anticipating cosmopolitan magazines. I like it.
They were.
Do you agree with that one, Jimmy?
I agree.
Okay. Third and final clause. Upon the loser, J. Courier, they were ahead of their time, leaving the court, it is understood to be poor ethics to ice thine bum or even apply the slightest medical attention to it. All parties acknowledge the damus posterior is due punishment for thine lack of accuracy. Do you agree?
I definitely agree.
Okay.
I accept thine challenge with pleasure.
Well, Jim, we were thinking Wednesday next week.
Listen, you name the date. You name the place.
I'll name the date. It's your date, and I'm going to be serving very hard at it, my friend.
I'm going to name it the
date?
inflamed date.
Well, I'm ready to go, and I do promise I will be held and bound by these rules. I will not bring a Cosmopolitan magazine with me.
It's nice to see the sport of bums getting back in the spotlight.
Well,
Jim Courier, congrats. The tennis is amazing, mate. We're loving your call, and we're loving the fact you made the Fresh Prince blush last night.
Great work.
On Channel 7, and we look forward to seeing you Wednesday.
Yeah, I can't wait, guys. I'm going to start practicing unclenching right now.
Thanks, mate. Take it easy.
All right, boys. See ya.
Hamish and Andy.
It's not all fun and games for us tomorrow on Australia Day.
No.
Because there's some serious training that we have to do.
Well, I'm having a barbie at my house, Ando, which obviously you'll be at, but I fully expect at various times throughout the afternoon, whilst there'll be a lot of chat and sort of some inflatable Australia Day beach balls being tapped around the backyard, I fully expect to just see you pensively looking off into the distance, and I know what you'll be thinking about, and I'll casually walk up to you the way that an old friend who respects your space but knows that he's close enough to share personal thoughts with you would, and just go, I know you're thinking about, mate, and I'm thinking the same thing. How do you reckon we're going to go tomorrow, taking on Jim Courier at bums?
Yeah. That's it. I mean, in a nutshell.
I'm thinking about playing bums with Jim Courier non-stop. That's all I'm thinking about.
Same.
I of course, for different parts of this show, will try and focus on various things. But all I can think about is that red-headed man and his bum.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitting a ball at it.
It's for me. It was like even going out to dinner with Megan last night. She knew I was distant, and she said, "Are you thinking about Jim Courier playing bums? Aren't you?"
Of course
yes, of course I am.
Even before the challenge was set last week, I've been thinking about this. Been thinking about this my whole life. We should recap for people.
For people who don't know, there is a game of bums coming up, which pretty much just involves, on a regular tennis court or a bums court, one team at halfway down the court one end, pretty much sitting in the box, raising their derriere, and the other team gets to serve at it.
8 times. Is the official rule.
We officially asked Jim Courier whether he would like to take us on.
Rather than the traditional tennis, could we take you on at a sport that predates tennis, Jim?
I'm willing to take you guys on just about anything as long as there's clothing involved.
Okay.
Scratch that off the list. Okay, well, let's move to option 4 then.
Well, the thing is, Jim, we're playing, obviously, a game that you're very familiar with in tennis, where the game Hamish and I grew up with is a very different game that goes by the name of bums.
You name the date. You name the place.
I'll name the date.
time.
It's your date, and I'm going to be serving very hard at it, my friend.
I'm going to name it the
date?
inflamed date.
So we're taking on Jim Courier at a game of bums.
Because he beat us last year when we played him American doubles. And I think for anyone
That's
that's
normal tennis, that wasn't what the game we're good at.
we're idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
We're idiots for taking him on at that. Now, anyone that obviously watched any of the tennis across the weekend and heard Jim Courier commentating for Channel 7, you will have detected a nervousness.
A degree of nervousness in his voice, yeah.
Because maybe he's heard that our training techniques, it's got back to him. Maybe he's been aware that whilst he has had to commentate over the weekend, he's had obligations he needs to fulfill.
You know what I think we should do tonight?
Yep.
Have an arse sauna.
How do we do that?
Well, you know how jockeys just lose a lot of weight beforehand.
Yep.
I think we've got to make our target smaller, which I'd imagine just be a small wooded room that would just fit your bottom.
Would it be like a wooden toilet that you sort of sit on?
Sure. And you just pour some water on the hot coals before you hot rocks, and then we sit on it for about. And look, we might walk around with a disproportionate bottom to our bodies. We might have a very small derriere on a normal.
We might have the arse of an 8-year-old. Yeah. And the body of a man.
For like the next couple of days, but that's what you go through.
I'll fill it back out. Don't worry. I mean, I've been working on filling it out anyway.
I thought that could be a good idea, Ham.
You know how they're always going, piranhas can skeletonize a cow in 1 minute? So I assume there's tanks of piranhas around to test this theory on repeatedly, just to make sure they're still doing it in a minute each year. Do we talk to the zoo or something and go, you know that tank of piranhas you guys have for that cow statistic and how you're always testing it? Could we stand up to our waist in the water? If we could strike a deal with the piranhas not to go around the front, but just to get some light nibbling on the bum.
On the bum. What would that help?
Well, just to test if our bums are solid enough, firm enough, ready. If the piranhas,
like Bushman's feet, how they walk around and they get hard callus.
Like Kalahari Bushmen, they never need shoes.
No, and same with guitar players on the end of their maybe we need to rough it out.
Maybe we get ass calluses before we put it to the piranha test, because they may indeed eat us, and we go, well, we found out we don't have calluses, but now we don't have bodies either.
Sauna.
Yep.
Then piranhas.
Sort of callus. Somehow we callus ourselves
up.
Sort of
calluses piranha.
Piranha test. And then we're ready for Courier on Wednesday. Looking forward to it.
This is Hamish and Andy.
I woke up nervous but excited this morning.
Yeah. I envy you that you could sleep.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been able to sleep for many a day. And
I did 1,000 lunges, 1,000 clenches, and then went to bed. Just kidding. Took ages.
I would too. Yeah. I like to think Megan sort of walked in where you're in about clench number 800. Yeah. Sorry, babe, I'm almost done.
Just to prepare our derrieres.
Yeah.
For a game of bums against Jim Courier.
Today was Rumble in the Bumble as we took on the gingerhead tennis champion, but not necessarily bums champion.
No, Ham. You and I made our way down to Melbourne Park, which we were excited to be. I was very surprised we weren't on centre court. Can I first say that to the Australian...
Well, because Melbourne Park is all about tennis now. When once it was a mighty bums stadium and citizens, not just of Melbourne, but of Australia, would flock and pack it out.
Yeah.
The stadium used to be 8 times bigger when it was a bums stadium. Yeah. And now, because tennis, which is much less popular, although much more commercial sport, has taken over, they're losing crowds.
Exactly.
They're losing crowds because the people want bums, but instead they're being given tennis.
Back then it was Joseph Putnick's arena, not Rod Laver. And a leading bums
Craig Wilhelmsen, I believe, knocked him off and won the Golden Bum.
But the game involves basically serving 4 balls each at each other's derrieres.
Yeah.
And we're going to take on Jim Courier. Pick up the action just before the game got underway.
As we approached the court, we saw Jim Courier warming up his butt-seeking serves. I can see him now. I can just see him. He looks nervous.
There he is. Look at that bum. Look at that bum wavering there like a big, beautiful target. God, why do I feel like I'm just standing outside the front of Baker's Delight? Because I'm looking at 2 vulnerable bums. If it isn't my favourite bum's nemesis. How are you, Jim?
We meet again. we boys, we meet again. And so it goes. You trying to intimidate me with this green and gold ensemble you brought this year?
Well, it's Australia versus the Yanks, of course, and it's on Australia Day. I mean, we're going to pick up where Hewitt and Stozer couldn't. We're going to take this thing.
We're going to have some winners in the final week of the Open here. Now, I suppose first questions first. How's your ass feeling? Is it nervous? Has it been good at sleep?
It's a little twitchy.
Is it?
Gotta be honest. Yeah, it's twitching a little bit. I'm not sure if it's lack of sleep. I'm not sure if I'm dehydrated or if it's just nerves. Probably a combination.
Has it withered
I went
a bit?
back through all your past tennis games and just watched your ass, just to try and really know the target.
Well, you probably didn't sleep much last night either.
I stayed up all night reworking the song I Like Big Butts to the words I Like Jim's Butt, and I can't deny it.
Well, there's no reason to deny it, and just let that music be your guide. Let it inspire you.
Okay. I even noticed that last night during your post-match interview with Andy Murray, I think there was a slight nod to the game of bums or butts up, as it's known in America.
Well, I was just sort of getting myself in the frame of mind for today's match. I thought it'd be appropriate to bring that up in front of 15,000 people in the stands and another, I don't know, a couple million people around the world.
Yeah,
so
well, the IBF, International Bums Federation, loved the mention.
Yeah.
And it's great to see the noble sport of bums, which does predate tennis, getting back out there and really taking on tennis for the world's number 1 racket-based sport.
And they're welcome.
Sorry, Jim, a quick formality beforehand. Obviously, you would know that one of the rules is no padding.
Correct.
Now, as I know I'm competing in the tournament today, but I'm also the match referee, I will need to test quickly.
It's a quick frisk.
It's the second one I've had since I came into this country, so it's all good.
This is obviously gentle. I'm now placing my right hand on your left cheek. I can feel an underpant, but there is no padding.
Oh,
now,
that's
it. Now, I'll check myself. That's fine.
That's good.
The only thing I can feel on my ass is calluses. I'll just feel Andy's ass quickly. Yeah. That's great.
You'll notice a couple of scars from bums games gone by, but besides that, I'm ready to go.
Sure, that's a well pockmarked ass.
Well, I don't really want to know the answer to this, but I suspect that you guys like me, when you've played this sport in the past and someone really hits you and marks you well, you go straight to a tattoo parlor and have them put it in ink there so you
I like to
can
do the
remember
outline,
it.
like a crime scene, just a chalk outline. Okay, yeah, this is Agassi, 96.
Right, exactly. It's perfect.
And I also chalk outlined the exit wound where it came out the front.
Just a little bit of friendly niggling before the sport of bums commences.
We obviously edited that to take out a lot of Jim quivering and spewing.
Begging us for mercy. Please, please, please. I've got a French scientist working on a robotic ass. He says he's not going to be done for 3 hours. Can we postpone? And we just sort of made him look like a bit of a wuss, so we took it out in the edit.
Round 1 and 2 we're about to hear.
Yep.
Both where we get 4 serves and Jim gets first serves at each other's derrieres.
Round 1, Hamish and Andy to serve.
Listen, I'm bloody excited. We're about to have our first serve down at Jim Courier's bum. He's assuming the position. The only thing that bothers me is I can't play tennis.
But you're a great bums player.
But I wonder how I'll go at bums, and I think we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah.
May your service be powerful, and may Courier's bum appear as big as 2 beach balls. Amen. Andy to serve now. God, he's got that fire in his eye. Oh, a little wide. Little wide. Your right cheek got very lucky there, Courier. That is a lucky cheek. All right, you ready? Get ready for a tennis balloscopy.
Hamish is going again.
Oh, God, that was the whisker away. Oh, jeez. At the end of round 1, we had not laid a ball on Jim Courier's bum. It was time to change ends.
How confident are you feeling as we change ends?
Well, I feel like my chances of hitting you guys is double because there are 4 cheeks, not just 2.
Yeah, it's a 2-fold cheek increase, and also
bigger target.
Christmas has been a 5-fold cheek increase on me.
Roger that. I hope you guys brought your airbags because I'm about to inflict a world of hurt on you.
We're confident. All right.
Round 2, Jim Courier to serve.
You guys ready? Everybody set? All right, incoming. Oh, that's me. Bullseye.
Jim was up 1 bum to none bums.
Even though we had 1 numb bum. It's confusing, but he was winning 1-0, and it was time to change ends.
There was still respect amongst the challengers. It's your turn to crouch again.
Yes. I gotta say, I like your style. Well, I like the feet back. There's a little extra padded protection.
Yeah.
You know, you've narrowed the line of target. I'm going to choose not to adopt your ways in this competition, but stealthily, I might take it back to the northern hemisphere with me.
You're like Sir Walter Riley coming back with coffee and tobacco.
That's right.
Who is this man that knows the new ways of bums?
That's correct. Well, I've been taught by 2 Jedi warriors.
Round 3, Hamish and Andy to serve again.
You ready to go?
Let's do this, Ando. I've had enough of this red-headed
tomfoolery.
bums master.
Exactly. All right, Jim. Here we go.
Present bum.
Haim on the left-hand side. Jim in the upright position. Hamish to serve. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Hasn't got it over the net. Do you think that's intimidating him?
I think I've gone for too much power and just not enough accuracy there. Now, hopefully...
Do you want to go straight back in again? Or?
Yes,
okay.
yes, obviously I do. The crowd laughed at me.
Okay. Jim, that does count, unfortunately for us.
Very close, my friend. If it wasn't for the net and about 20 metres, that would have been right in your ass. The last serve from Ando. Please hit Jim Courier's ass. Yo! It whistled past his ear, otherwise known as a head bump. Jimmy's holding his ear. I think it might have even clipped his ear.
There was something in
What
that.
we've done there is score no points and infuriate the Ginger Master.
Oh, no. Before Jim had his last 4 serves, I thought I could do some negotiating. There's 2 options here. You can take your 4 shots. Or, like some golfers do when they're 4 holes up with 3 to play, shake hands and walk away.
Gentlemen, I know that you and I have a long history of doing things that inflict pain on you.
Yeah.
And I'd be remiss if I shortchanged myself.
I wouldn't have it anywhere other way, Sir Courier.
I think,
for honour, sir.
Well, for the rules of the game, we must uphold the integrity of bums.
True. No bums game has ever been cut short.
No.
And it shall not happen today. Good, sir.
Let's do it. Let's see this thing out. We'll adopt the position.
Assume the position.
Good bums lingo.
The 4th and final round, Jim Courier to serve.
I'll probably just put one in about 185K. Not too bad. All right, guys, you set? Heads down. Here we go.
Oh, bum hook down. That's right in the middle there. That's a good 50-50 split, left to right cheek. That's classic bums. He's completely violated me, Ando. Okay. Have mercy on us, Jim. Let's go again. Yeah, he's got the calf. It's a calf. He's getting us everywhere. He's owning us.
Jim, undisputed bums champion. Congratulations.
By total arse knockout, the winner is Sir James Courier. Ladies and gentlemen, the new world champion of bums.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
Jim, you can see the crowd gathering here. Obviously, you gave a lot of your life to the sport of tennis, which, as we mentioned before, is a complete rip-off of the sport of bums.
Correct.
Stole a lot of its gear, its court, and really ran away with the trophy for a while of most popular racket-based game. Huge crowd down here today. Is bums coming back?
I feel like this will be a key, pivotal moment that people will look back on. They will say when this great duel went down, bums took a huge leap forward. Asses around the world were excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, we wear our tennis ball shapes, bruises of pride on our asses. Thank you, sir.
It was just lovely to feel Jim all over our bums. I felt that.
Probably the most angry parts of my body are the ones that didn't get hit today by the tennis one.
Well, jealousy, yes.
Yeah, I think my intestines are a little bit annoyed because they were so close to the action, but they didn't get the treatment they deserved for bombs. Why don't you just wander over there now to the commentary box and tell them, guys, tennis is dead. Let's call it off.
It's dead and it's dying at the same time.
Let's just flip a coin for whoever wins on Saturday and call this a bums championship.
I'm in.
Thanks, Jim. I'm off to find some ice cream. Half for me and half for my ass.
Hamish and Andy.